Hi guys, and welcome back to another Tech Minds video. Now in this video, we're going to take a look at a cool little transmitter, and this has one single purpose, and that is to transmit a very low power signal using WSPR. For those of you that do not know what WSPR is, let me explain, and for those that do, use the video chapters to skip this part. Now, WSPR stands for Weak Signal Propagation Reporter, and instead of being a normal chat mode, it's more like a global propagation experiment, all about seeing how far a really weak signal can travel. WSPR is also pronounced as WSPR, just to make it easier on the ears. So with WSPR, you're not running big power. In fact, most stations run very low power on purpose. A lot of people use 1 watt or less, and it's really common to see stations transmitting at power levels between 200 to 500 milliwatts. Some stations do run more power, like 1 watt, and if band conditions are poor, they may run between 2 to 5 watts. But in my personal opinion, running milliwatts is where it can get exciting. Even at those very low levels, WSPR signals can still be decoded thousands of miles away. Now, each transmission only sends a tiny bit of data. It includes your call sign, maiden head locator, and the power level. The signal is extremely narrow, only about 6 Hz wide, and it uses a very slow, efficient modulation scheme that lets it be decoded well below the noise floor, and that's often around -28 dB SNR or weaker. The modulation of WSPR is actually 4 FSK, or 4 shift frequency keying, and with the slide shown on the screen now, you can see how this is made up. Now pay close attention to the FEC, or forward error correction. Now this is important and done all automatically for you, as it helps to correct symbol errors caused by fading and noise on the band. And well, this is why WSPR is great for what it is. Receivers around the world upload their reports to the WSPR database, and a minute or two later, you can jump onto the map and see who heard your signal, how strong your signal was, and how far it travelled. Now, I think it is a brilliant tool for testing antennas or watching how propagation changes through the day. Now, personally, I use it for testing antennas alongside using FTA, and then I can use the PSK Reporter website, but WSPR has that edge with signal-to-noise ratio. Now, while you can use a normal HF radio and some software on your computer, like WSJTX, which supports WSPR transmission as well, sometimes you may not want to leave your radio on or your computer turned on, and that's where one of these little devices come into its own. Now, this is a GPS Synced WSPR transmitter, and it uses an SI5351. It covers all of the handbands and outputs around 23 dBm. Now that's just 200 milliwatts. It supports 1 band at a time, but can be easily programmed via a serial interface over USB. Now it is USB powered, and it does come with a USB-C cable and a GPS antenna. Now timing is important with WSPR, just like FTA. So the GPS is used to make sure the transmissions are sent at the correct intervals. There's no need to set the time on this device manually. On one end of the device, there's the GPS antenna connection and then your main HF antenna connection, both in the form of SMAs. There's also a USB-C socket, and that's used for programming and powering. The other end has 3 status LEDs and 1 power on and off switch. Now, for those of you that like to see inside these devices, let me show you. It looks fairly well designed, and you can see the GPS and tuner chips. There's also an onboard battery, which may be, and I'm not entirely sure, but possibly fused with the GPS chip to remember its last location for faster future locks. Now, what do you think about what that battery is there for? One thing you will notice is that there's no low-pass filters here, and to be honest, with such low power, any harmonics are going to be extremely low. And I only ever saw it appear on my radio at the second harmonic, but to be a considerate ham, I guess you should really be using low pass filters with this. Okay, so let's hook up the GPS antenna, my HF antenna, and the USB-C cable that is connected to my computer. The antenna that I'll use for these tests will be my end-fed half-wave antenna. At the base is a 49:1 auto transformer and then 20 meters of wire. Now this provides me with a resonant antenna from 40 to 10 meters, without the 17 meter band though. A really useful website is called serialterminal.com, and this allows us to connect to the WSPR transmitter and configure it with my details. You'll just need to look into your device manager or equivalent to see which COM port number this WSPR transmitter has been assigned. So what I need to do is tell it my call sign, my maidenhead locator, the power level and the frequency. So you enter config : then your full call sign, then a comma, then the first 4 characters of your maidenhead locator, then another comma, then the power level in dBm, which is fixed on this at 23, then another comma, and then lastly the frequency in hertz. The first band I'll test with this will be the 40 meter band, so for this I'll enter 7040 or 100 for the frequency. Then you just press enter to send that command to the transmitter. Now the screen will start to show when the device starts to transmit, and the LEDs on the front of the device will show a GPS lock when it's transmitting. However, I did notice that after sending a new config command, I did need to power off and then on the device for those new parameters to take effect properly. So I just used the power button on the front of the transmitter just to turn it on and off. To confirm it was actually transmitting, I tuned my Yaesu FT710, which incidentally had no antenna connected to it, to the WSPR frequency on the 40 meter band. And yep, it was transmitting. So after about 30 minutes, I opened up the WSPR.net website, entered my call sign, and could see that my signal on 40 meters was being heard around Europe. So yay, it was working. Now I left this running overnight and most of the following day, and then I checked back on the WSPR.net website again. Now this time I was presented with this result. Now here we're seeing lots of stations that have received my WSPR transmission, primarily over Western Europe, but what did surprise me was to see 2 stations in the US and 1 station in Canada. So these had actually received my transmission, decoded my WSPR packets, and then uploaded it to the WSPR.net website. Now that's pretty impressive for a very small 200 milliwatt transmitter. In fact, by the time it gets to the antenna, it's probably a lot less than that. Now I didn't test all of the bands, but one other band I wanted to test was the 20 meter band. Using the same antenna, same transmitter, I just reprogrammed this WSPR device to transmit on 20 meters. Again, rebooted and left overnight. Now the following day I opened up WSPR.net website and was presented with this map. Now look at that. My puny signal was received and decoded in Australia and down the east coast and west coast of the United States. Now how cool is that? At the time of making this video, this little WSPR transmitter cost just 30 UK pounds. Now that's very cheap for a lot of fun and a great way to test your homemade or even commercially made HF antennas. Now I will link below if you'd like to check it out for yourself, and you can even download the manual from the website if you want to have a read through of how this thing works. One feature that this lacks though is the ability to change bands automatically, but I'm sure that this will be an easy addition for the designer to add. You could even write your own Arduino program to periodically send the config command to this WSPR transmitter yourself if so inclined. Anyway guys, I know there's a few different types of these transmitters that are available on the market, but this is the cheapest one that I've seen so far. And by all accounts from the testing that I've performed, it's working quite well. Now I think something like this is extremely useful and something that every ham radio operator should have really if you're interested to see how well your HF antennas are working. Using something like this just left on and plugged into a USB power source, you can literally just plug it in and forget about it. You don't even have to have your computer on, your radio on, or anything else. Just plug and go basically. Anyway, until the next video, take care of yourselves and we'll see you in the next video.